Have you ever felt like someone in your life is only around when they need something? Maybe they seem friendly, but deep down you sense they don't really care about you. They use you for their own benefit, but when you need support, they're nowhere to be found. It's a frustrating and painful experience, but Stoicism can help you recognize these people and protect your peace. In this video, we're going to explore the 7 key attitudes of a person who only uses you and doesn't truly care. With the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, you can spot these behaviors early on, set boundaries, and free yourself from toxic relationships. Stoicism teaches us to value our own well-being and not allow others to disrupt our inner peace. By understanding the signs of a person who is using you, you can take control of your life and make better choices about who you let into your inner circle. From constant demands and lack of empathy to manipulation and empty promises, these behaviors are common among those who see others as tools rather than friends. But with Stoic wisdom, you can rise above their tactics and focus on relationships that are genuine and supportive. In this video, you'll learn how to protect yourself from people who don't have your best interests at heart using the principles of Stoicism. Ready to discover the attitudes to watch out for? Let's dive in. 1. Guilt tripping and manipulation. Guilt tripping and manipulation are tactics often used by people to control others and get what they want. These behaviors can make you feel responsible for someone else's emotions or actions, even when it's not your fault. Stoicism teaches us to recognize these tactics and not allow them to disrupt our inner peace. By understanding how guilt tripping and manipulation work, you can protect yourself and respond with clarity and calm. Guilt tripping usually involves making you feel bad for not meeting someone's expectations. The person might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this," or "I guess I'll just have to do it myself since you won't help." These statements are designed to make you feel guilty and push you into doing something you might not want to do. But Stoicism reminds us that we are not responsible for other people's emotions or decisions. You have the right to say no and set boundaries without feeling guilty. Manipulation, on the other hand, often involves more subtle tactics like twisting the truth, exaggerating situations, or playing the victim. Manipulators might act kind and helpful, but their real goal is to get something from you. They use deception and emotional pressure to control your actions. Stoicism teaches us to stay grounded in reality and not be swayed by appearances or emotions. When you recognize manipulation, you can respond with reason and not let it influence your decisions. One of the key Stoic practices is to focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. You cannot control how others try to manipulate you, but you can control how you respond. By staying aware of these tactics, you can refuse to engage in the manipulator's game. You can calmly and confidently assert your boundaries without feeling the need to justify or explain yourself. Another Stoic principle is emotional detachment. This doesn't mean you stop caring about others, but rather you don't let their emotions dictate your actions. If someone tries to guilt trip or manipulate you, practice stepping back emotionally. Observe the situation from a distance, as if you were watching it happen to someone else. This perspective helps you stay calm and make decisions based on reason, not pressure. In dealing with guilt tripping and manipulation, it's important to remember your worth and values. Stoicism encourages us to live according to our principles, not to please others. If someone is trying to make you feel guilty or manipulate you, remind yourself that you have the right to make your own choices. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace and well-being. In summary, guilt tripping and manipulation are harmful behaviors that Stoicism can help you handle effectively. By staying true to your values, maintaining emotional detachment, and focusing on what you can control, you can protect yourself from these tactics and live with integrity and inner peace. Second, selective availability. Selective availability is a powerful concept in Stoicism that helps you protect your energy, time, and mental well-being. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with demands for our attention, whether it's from work, social obligations, or even the endless notifications on our devices. Stoicism teaches us that we should be mindful of where we invest our time and energy, and being selectively available is a way to ensure that we're prioritizing what truly matters. When you practice selective availability, you're choosing to be present and engaged in situations and relationships that align with your values and contribute to your growth. This doesn't mean being rude or cutting people off. Rather, it's about being intentional with your availability. It's recognizing that not every request or demand is worth your time, and that saying no is sometimes the most powerful way to protect your peace. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what you can control, and one of the things you have the most control over is your availability. You can decide who gets your time and attention. By being selectively available, you ensure that you're not drained by trivial matters or toxic people who don't contribute positively to your life. This concept also ties into the Stoic idea of prioritizing inner peace. If you're constantly available to everyone and everything, you risk becoming overwhelmed, stressed, and distracted from your own goals and well-being. Stoics believe in living a life of purpose, and part of that is knowing when to withdraw and protect your mental space. Selective availability is also about quality over quantity. It's better to give your full attention to fewer, more meaningful interactions than to spread yourself too thin. When you choose to be available, make sure it's for something that truly deserves your time. This way, you can engage more deeply and meaningfully, which is much more fulfilling than trying to be everywhere at once. Moreover, practicing selective availability helps you avoid burnout. Constantly being on call, whether for work, social obligations, or personal relationships, can leave you exhausted and resentful. By setting boundaries and being selective, you're preserving your energy for the things that truly matter. This approach not only benefits you, but also those around you, as you're able to show up as your best self when it really counts. In the end, selective availability is about taking control of your life and making sure that your time and energy are spent in ways that align with your values and goals. It's a Stoic practice that helps you stay focused, maintain inner peace, and live a life of purpose. By choosing when and where to invest your attention, you create a life that is more balanced, fulfilling, and true to yourself. 3. The persistent lack of respect. The persistent lack of respect from others can be a challenging and painful experience. When someone repeatedly disrespects you, whether through words, actions, or attitudes, it can wear you down and make you question your worth. Stoicism, however, offers valuable guidance on how to handle such situations with strength and dignity. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is that we cannot control how others treat us, but we can control how we respond. When faced with disrespect, it's important to remember that the other person's actions reflect their character, not yours. Their lack of respect says more about them than it does about you. By not internalizing their behavior, you protect your self-worth and maintain your inner peace. Stoicism also encourages us to stay calm in the face of adversity. Reacting with anger or frustration when someone disrespects you only gives them power over your emotions. Instead, practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean ignoring the disrespect, but rather approaching it with a clear, level-headed mindset. When you remain calm, you show that their behavior doesn't control you. Another Stoic principle is the importance of setting boundaries. If someone consistently disrespects you, it's essential to establish limits on how much access they have to your life. This could mean distancing yourself from them, limiting interactions, or directly addressing the issue. Setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Stoicism teaches us that it's okay to remove ourselves from toxic situations that disrupt our peace. Moreover, Stoicism emphasizes self-respect. Even if others fail to show you respect, it's crucial that you respect yourself. This means standing up for your values, not allowing others to diminish your worth, and treating yourself with kindness and dignity. When you respect yourself, you set a standard for how you expect to be treated by others. It's also helpful to remember the Stoic practice of viewing challenges as opportunities for growth. Persistent disrespect can be a difficult test, but it's also a chance to strengthen your resilience, practice patience, and reinforce your commitment to living according to your principles. Each time you handle disrespect with grace and composure, you're honing your Stoic virtues. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters. In the grand scheme of things, the opinions and actions of disrespectful people are insignificant. What matters most is your own character, your peace of mind, and your journey toward personal growth. By keeping your focus on what's within your control and letting go of what isn't, you can rise above the negativity and continue to move forward with confidence and clarity. In conclusion, the persistent lack of respect from others can be painful, but Stoicism provides the tools to handle it with strength and dignity. By controlling your reactions, setting boundaries, and focusing on your own self-respect, you can protect your inner peace and live in alignment with your values, regardless of how others choose to behave. 4. Superficial bonding. Superficial bonding is something we all encounter in life, relationships or connections that feel shallow, temporary, and lacking in depth. These types of bonds often revolve around convenience, mutual benefits, or shared interests that don't run very deep. While these relationships might serve a purpose in the short term, they often leave us feeling unfulfilled and disconnected in the long run. Stoicism can help us navigate these interactions by teaching us to focus on what truly matters in relationships. Stoics value meaningful connections that are built on trust, respect, and shared values. Superficial bonds, on the other hand, tend to lack these qualities. They are often based on appearances, status, or fleeting emotions, rather than genuine care and understanding. Stoicism encourages us to recognize these superficial bonds for what they are, and not to place too much importance on them. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is the idea of prioritizing quality over quantity. It's better to have a few deep, meaningful relationships than many shallow ones. Superficial bonds may offer temporary companionship or distraction, but they don't provide the lasting support and connection that true friendships do. By focusing on cultivating deeper relationships, you can build a network of people who truly care about you and who you can rely on in difficult times. Another aspect of Stoicism is understanding the impermanence of things, including relationships. Superficial bonds often fade quickly because they lack a strong foundation. The Stoics remind us that it's natural for some connections to come and go, and that we shouldn't cling to relationships that no longer serve us or align with our values. Letting go of superficial bonds can free up time and energy for more meaningful pursuits. Stoicism also teaches us to be authentic in our relationships. Superficial bonds often require us to put on a facade or play a role to fit in. But living in accordance with Stoic principles means being true to yourself and not compromising your integrity for the sake of fitting in. Authenticity attracts others who appreciate you for who you truly are, leading to more genuine and lasting connections. When dealing with superficial bonds, it's important to set boundaries and manage expectations. Not every relationship needs to be deep or long-lasting, and that's okay. The key is to recognize these bonds for what they are and not invest more emotionally than necessary. By maintaining a clear perspective, you can enjoy these interactions for what they offer without expecting more than they're capable of providing. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us to approach superficial bonding with awareness and discernment. By focusing on deeper, more meaningful relationships and staying true to our values, we can create connections that enrich our lives and offer true support. Superficial bonds may be a part of life, but they don't have to define your social world. Choose quality over quantity and seek out relationships that align with the Stoic principles of authenticity, respect, and shared values. Fifth, absence in crucial moments. Absence in crucial moments can be one of the most hurtful experiences in relationships. When you need someone the most, and they aren't there for you, it can feel like a deep betrayal. Whether it's a friend, family member, or partner, their absence during critical times can make you question their loyalty and care. Stoicism offers guidance on how to handle these situations with resilience and grace. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the idea of self-reliance. While we all value the support of others, Stoicism reminds us that we should not depend entirely on others for our happiness or stability. People are fallible, they have their own struggles, and may not always be able to be there for us when we need them. By cultivating inner strength, we can learn to stand on our own, even when those we rely on are absent. Stoicism also encourages us to accept the reality of situations. If someone isn't there for you in a crucial moment, it's important to acknowledge that fact without letting it consume you with anger or resentment. Accepting that people may fail you allows you to focus on what you can control, your own reactions and decisions. Instead of dwelling on their absence, redirect your energy towards solving the problem at hand. Another Stoic principle is to manage your expectations. While it's natural to hope that others will be there for you, Stoicism teaches us not to expect too much from others. This doesn't mean lowering your standards, but rather understanding that people have their own limitations. By managing your expectations, you protect yourself from disappointment when others fall short. In moments when you feel abandoned, it's essential to practice forgiveness and compassion. Stoicism encourages us to understand that everyone is fighting their own battles, and sometimes people just aren't capable of offering the support we need. This doesn't excuse their absence, but it can help you approach the situation with a more balanced perspective. Holding on to resentment only harms your peace of mind. Additionally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters. If someone's absence in crucial moments repeatedly hurts you, it might be a sign to reassess the relationship. Are they genuinely committed to your well-being, or is the relationship more one-sided? Stoicism doesn't shy away from difficult decisions, including distancing yourself from relationships that no longer serve you or align with your values. Finally, remember that your strength comes from within. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of inner resilience. Even when others fail to be there for you, you can find the strength to navigate challenges on your own. By focusing on your own growth, you become less dependent on others for validation or support in crucial moments. In summary, Stoicism teaches us to handle the absence of others in crucial moments with acceptance, self-reliance, and perspective. While it's natural to feel hurt, by focusing on your own inner strength and managing expectations, you can navigate these situations with resilience. Ultimately, the Stoic path encourages us to find peace within ourselves, regardless of who is or isn't there for us in our times of need. 6. Being utilized as a means to an end. Being utilized as a means to an end is a situation many of us face, often leaving us feeling undervalued and taken advantage of. Whether in work, relationships, or social situations, it can be disheartening to realize that someone is using you for their benefit without genuine care for your well-being. Stoicism offers a path to navigate this experience with strength, clarity, and self-respect. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is to recognize what is within your control and what isn't. You may not be able to change how others treat you, but you can control your response. When you sense that you're being used, it's important to remain calm and not react impulsively. Instead, step back and evaluate the situation with a clear mind. This perspective allows you to make decisions that align with your values rather than being driven by emotion. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of self-worth. When someone uses you as a means to an end, it can erode your sense of value. However, Stoicism teaches that your worth is not determined by how others treat you, but by how you live according to your principles. You are not defined by someone else's actions. Your character and integrity remain intact, regardless of how others behave. By focusing on your own values and self-respect, you protect your inner peace. Setting boundaries is another key aspect of Stoic practice. If you find yourself being used, it's essential to establish limits on what you will and won't tolerate. This might mean saying no to certain requests, distancing yourself from those who don't value you, or even ending toxic relationships. Stoicism encourages you to be firm and clear about your boundaries without feeling guilty or obligated to please others at your own expense. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to view challenges as opportunities for growth. Being utilized by others can be a painful experience, but it also offers a chance to learn about yourself and your relationships. Ask yourself why this situation occurred and what you can do to prevent it in the future. This self-reflection helps you build stronger, healthier connections that are based on mutual respect and genuine care. Another Stoic principle is to detach from the opinions and actions of others. If someone uses you, it reflects their character, not yours. Don't let their behavior define how you see yourself. By practicing emotional detachment, you protect yourself from the negativity and manipulation of others. You can move forward with confidence, knowing that their actions don't diminish your worth. Finally, Stoicism reminds us to focus on what truly matters. Being used as a means to an end is frustrating, but it's important to not let it consume you. Instead, redirect your energy toward relationships and pursuits that are meaningful and aligned with your values. Invest in connections that uplift and support you, and let go of those that only take from you without giving anything in return. In conclusion, being utilized as a means to an end is a difficult experience, but Stoicism provides the tools to handle it with resilience and dignity. By focusing on your own values, setting boundaries, and practicing emotional detachment, you can protect your self-worth and continue to live a life that is true to yourself. Remember, your value is inherent, and no one else's actions can take that away from you. 7. The lack of detailed personal interest. The lack of detailed personal interest in relationships can leave you feeling unseen and unimportant. Whether it's a friend who only asks surface-level questions, a colleague who never remembers your preferences, or a partner who doesn't seem invested in your life, this lack of interest can be disheartening. Stoicism offers valuable insights on how to approach these situations with wisdom and emotional balance. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control how others behave, only how we respond. If someone shows little personal interest in you, it doesn't necessarily reflect your worth. People have their own lives, distractions, and priorities. and their lack of interest may have more to do with them than with you. By recognizing this, you can protect yourself from unnecessary feelings of rejection or disappointment. It's also important to remember that Stoicism encourages self-sufficiency. While meaningful connections are valuable, Stoics emphasize the importance of not relying too heavily on external validation. If someone isn't showing the level of interest you desire, it doesn't diminish your value. Your worth is defined by your own actions, virtues, and the way you live according to your principles, not by how much attention others give you. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on what truly matters in relationships. While it's natural to want others to take an interest in our lives, Stoicism reminds us to prioritize deeper values like trust, respect, and integrity. If someone lacks detailed personal interest but still treats you with respect and honesty, that may hold more weight than constant attention. At the same time, Stoicism encourages setting boundaries and making conscious choices about who you allow in your life. If someone consistently shows little interest in you, it's worth considering whether that relationship is mutually fulfilling. You don't have to invest your energy in relationships that feel one-sided or draining. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate relationships that align with our values and to let go of those that don't. Additionally, Stoicism advises against taking things personally. If someone isn't showing detailed personal interest, it might not be intentional or malicious. People often get caught up in their own lives and may not realize they're being distant or indifferent. By not taking their behavior personally, you free yourself from unnecessary hurt and frustration. Stoicism also encourages us to communicate clearly. If someone's lack of interest bothers you, consider addressing it directly, but calmly and without blame. Expressing your feelings can sometimes open the door to deeper understanding and improve the relationship. However, if the response remains indifferent, Stoicism reminds us to accept the situation as it is and move on without bitterness. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches that your peace of mind is more important than the attention you receive from others. By focusing on what you can control, your reactions, your values, and your choices, you can navigate relationships with a sense of inner calm. If someone doesn't show detailed personal interest, it's not a reflection of your worth. Instead, continue to invest in relationships that bring value to your life and align with your Stoic principles. In conclusion, the lack of detailed personal interest from others can be disappointing, but Stoicism offers a path to handle it with grace. By focusing on your own self-worth, setting boundaries, and not taking things personally, you can maintain your inner peace and prioritize relationships that truly matter. In wrapping up our exploration of the 7 attitudes of someone who only uses you and doesn't truly care, let's reflect on what we've learned from Stoicism. Understanding these behaviors helps us recognize when we're being manipulated or undervalued, but more importantly, it empowers us to protect our own well-being and make choices that align with our values. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control others' actions, but we can control our responses. If you find yourself in relationships where you're being used, remember that your worth isn't defined by how others treat you. By staying true to your principles, setting healthy boundaries, and focusing on what truly matters, you maintain your peace and self-respect. It's crucial to remember that recognizing these attitudes is just the first step. The real power lies in how you choose to respond. Embrace the Stoic practice of detachment and self-reflection. Evaluate whether these relationships are worth your time and energy. Let go of what doesn't serve you and invest in connections that uplift and respect you. By embodying Stoic principles, you can navigate these challenging interactions with wisdom and composure. You have the strength to protect your mental space, make empowered choices, and build relationships based on mutual respect and genuine care. Remember, your journey to authentic and fulfilling connections starts with understanding and upholding your own values. So, as you move forward, keep in mind that your worth is inherent and not dependent on others' behaviors. Let the insights from Stoicism guide you in fostering relationships that align with your true self. In the end, it's about creating a life filled with meaningful connections and inner peace. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope these Stoic insights help you build stronger, more respectful relationships in your life.